Hi everyone, it's Shravya again, and today I'm going to show you 3 programs in which I'll tell you about drawing on Scratch using coordinates and the mouse pointer. To draw on Scratch, we need the pen blocks. On Scratch 3.0, there isn't a set of visible blocks for the pen like there is for the motion or the sounds. So what we need to do is add an extension. To do this, go to the bottom left hand corner of the screen and click on the blue square with a picture of some blocks and a plus sign. Then we need to find the pen extension and select it. Now we have all the blocks that will allow our sprite to draw. Now, let's create a program which will instruct a pencil to draw a square. First, we need the pencil sprite from the Scratch library. I'm going to search for it. You could use any sprite that you like. Now that we have the pencil, we can delete the cat and start coding. First, we need the event block, when flag clicked, to start the program. And then we need the pen block that says pen down. This is so that the sprite will draw on the stage. Next, we need the repeat control block. Since a square has 4 sides, we need to change the 10 to 4. Next, we need 2 motion blocks. The first one is the block that says move 10 steps, and the second is the one that says turn 15 degrees. Let's change the number of steps to 100. And since squares are made up of right angles, we need to change the number of degrees to 90. Next, we need to add the control block, wait 1 second, underneath our motion blocks in the repeat bracket. Finally, we need the event block, when space key pressed, and then the pen block, erase all. This is so that we can clear the stage after the square has been drawn. Now, let's put the stage in full screen and run the code. Our pencil has just drawn a square, and if I wanted it to disappear, I could press the space key and the stage would clear. Now I think coding just the square is a little bit boring. So why don't we use this square to create a bigger piece of art? For this, we can use the same code and just add some extra blocks to it. First, let's start with the pen up block and put it underneath our repeat bracket. Underneath that, let's put the move 10 steps block. I'm going to change the number of steps to 20. Next, let's put the turn 15 degrees block underneath our move 20 steps motion block. Finally, let's find the pen block, change pen color by 10, and put it underneath our turn 15 degrees motion block. Next, let's get the repeat control block and put it over our entire code. I'm going to change the number of times the code repeats to 24. Finally, let's make some final adjustments to the code. I'm going to take out the wait 1 second block. I'm also going to move the pen down block into our original repeat bracket above the move 100 steps motion block, like this. Next, let's move the pencil sprite into some space and then click on the little eye with a line going through it to hide the sprite. Now, let's put the stage in full screen and run the code and see what happens. The pencil sprite has now created an amazing piece of art. If you wanted to, you could experiment and put different numbers into the different motion blocks and pen blocks to change the color, the number of steps the sprite takes, and the number of degrees it turns, and see what creations you can make. Coordinates are used to tell the sprite where on the stage to go. For example, if the sprite was in the center of the stage, the sprite's coordinates would be 0, 0. The coordinates are measured using the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis goes horizontally across the stage, while the y-axis goes vertically. To start with, we need the event block when flag clicked. Next, we need the pen block, pen up. After that, let's use the motion block, go to x0, y0. This is so that the sprite will go to the center of the stage to start the code. Next, we need the event block, when space key pressed, and then the pen block, erase all, so that we can clear the stage. Next, let's get the event block when space key pressed, but instead of using the space key, let's change it to the up arrow. Next, to go up and down, we need to change the y coordinate. So let's get the motion block, change y by 10. Next, we need the pen block, pen down, and we need to put this above our motion block. This is so that the sprite will draw on the stage. Finally, we need the set pen color to block. This is so that we can change the colors. I'm going to change the color to green. Next, I'm going to duplicate this code so that we can do the same but with the down arrow. So I'm going to change the event block to the down arrow, and to make the sprite move down, we need to change y by -10. And then I'm going to change the pen color to red. Next, let's do the same with the right and left. Let's get the event block and then change it to right. Next, we need the pen down block. And then, since going horizontally across the stage uses the x-axis, we need the motion block, change x by 10. Finally, let's get the set pen color to block and to change the color. This time I'm going to have it as blue. Now, let's duplicate this code so that we can do the same with the left arrow. To change the event block, and then to move left across the stage, x needs to be changed by -10. Finally, let's set the pen color. I'm going to set it to pink. Now, let's click on the little eye with a line going through it to hide the sprite, and then put the stage in full screen and run the code. So now our sprite's in the center of the stage. By using the up, down, left and right keys, I can draw a picture, changing the color with every line. Here's a nice staircase. I can go in the other direction too. Now, let's make a program that is more interactive using the mouse pointer. First, let's pick a sprite from the Scratch library. I'm going to use the pencil sprite. but you could use any sprite that you wanted. Now, let's delete the cat sprite and start coding. First, let's get the event block when flag clicked to start the program, and then the looks block, set size to. I'm setting the size to 50%. This will make the sprite half its size and it will make the sprite easier to draw with. Next, let's get the pen block, set pen color to. I'm going to set the pen color to black, but you could set it to anything that you wanted. Next, let's set the pen size. I'm going to set it to 3. This is so that the line drawn by the sprite is a little bit bigger and easier to see. Next, we need the forever control block, and inside it, we need the motion block, go to random position. But instead of going to a random position, we need the sprite to go to mouse pointer. This is what will make the game more interactive, and the forever block will ensure that this goes on throughout the entire time the program is running. Next, we need the event block when space key pressed, but instead of using the space key, we need the up arrow. Underneath that, we need the pen block, pen up. This is so that we can raise the pen when we don't want to draw on the stage. Next, we need to do exactly the same with the down arrow and the pen down key. So let's get the event block when space key pressed, and then change the space key to down arrow, and then get the pen key, the pen block, pen down, so that we can reverse the operation. Finally, we need the event block when space key pressed, and then the pen block, erase all, so that we can clear the stage. Now, let's put the stage in full screen and run the code. Now our sprite is half its size, so it's easier to draw with. Ta-da! I hope you all enjoyed these programs. I'll be back soon.